The Great Earthworm Tug-of-War. On Farmer Bob's sprawling farm, two little chicks, Pip and Squeak, were making the most of a beautiful morning. The sun was shining, the grass was fresh, and the dirt, was rich with the most wonderful treasures, especially the wriggly, squirmy earthworms that Pip and Squeak adored. But today, the stakes were higher. Much higher. Today, they weren't just scavenging for food. They were about to face off in a battle that would go down in farmyard history. It all started innocently enough. Pip, look. Squeak chirped, hopping excitedly over to a fresh patch of dirt where an earthworm was wriggling just beneath the surface. Pip, always eager to get the first bite, waddled over. I saw it first, she squawked, pointing with her beak. Squeak tilted her head. No. I definitely saw it first. You're always jumping in front of me. Pip fluffed her little feathers. You are so dramatic, Squeak. I was here first, and that worm's mine. Squeak puffed her chest out. Oh, really? You think I'm dramatic? I bet you can't even get it out of the ground. Watch and learn, little Pip. Pip scowled. Oh, I'll show you how it's done. She dove into the soil with her beak, scratching away, but the worm wriggled deeper, avoiding her attempts. Squeak, not one to be outdone, snickered. You call that digging? I'll get it. I'll show you how it's really done. She lunged forward and started pecking furiously at the dirt. No. Pip squealed, rushing to block her. I've got it. I found it first. The two chicks were now locked in an epic tug-of-war. Pip had a small hold on the earthworm, and Squeak was pulling from the other side, both of them tugging and squawking, each determined to claim victory. The worm, of course, was caught in the middle of this madness, wriggling furiously between the two chicks, clearly having no idea what was going on. It tried to burrow back into the soil, but the chick's frantic pecking only pulled it further out. Give it up, Pip. I'm stronger. Squeak taunted, pulling with all her might. No way, Squeak. I was first. Pip retorted, squinting at her sister and holding on tightly. I'm the worm queen around here. Squeak rolled her eyes. Oh, please, Pip. You're the worm princess at best. I've got this. You've got nothing. Pip shrieked, flapping her wings to shake off Squeak's advances. Your wings are flapping so much, you're scaring the worm. Squeak laughed. You're ruining the whole thing. Pip puffed her chest up. I don't need your help, Squeak. I'm going to win this, and then I'll eat the whole thing all by myself. Squeak's eyes sparkled. We'll see about that. Because right now, I'm this close to pulling it out completely. She leaned back, straining with all her might. But just as the worm was about to break free from the dirt, there came a loud cluck. Pip. Squeak. What in the cluck are you two doing now? The voice of their mother, Mother Hen, boomed across the barnyard. Both chicks froze mid-pull. Pip quickly flapped her wings in a panic, trying to look innocent. Squeak, similarly, stood still, staring up at their mother with wide, guilty eyes. We're, playing, Mama. Pip quickly chirped, trying to cover up the fight. Playing. Mother Hen's beady eyes narrowed, looking at the tug-of-war between her two chicks. It looks to me like you two are fighting over a worm. Squeak straightened up, trying to act casual. We weren't fighting, Mama. We were just, negotiating. Yeah, we were negotiating who gets the worm. Mother Hen shook her head. Negotiating? Is that what we're calling this now? She looked down at the squirming worm, which was still hanging between her two daughters, neither of them willing to let go. Well, she continued with a sigh, if you two want that worm so badly, I'll just have to sort this out for you. I'll divide it evenly, and you can both have your fair share. Both chicks squawked at the same time now. Pip's wings flapped in protest. But Mama, I saw it first. Squeak added, I was pulling it out of the dirt, Mama. I should get the bigger half. Mother Hen raised an eyebrow. Oh, really? Is that so? She paused and gave them both a very stern look. Because I can tell you both one thing. Neither of you are getting all of that worm. But, Pip began, but Mother Hen cut her off with a single cluck. Enough. You're both acting like spoiled little chicks. You can't just fight over every worm that comes your way. You're sisters, and it's about time you learned how to share. Pip and Squeak glanced at each other, their little faces still pouting. But neither of them said anything. Now, Mother Hen clucked firmly, since you two seem to be so good at holding on to things, I'll give you both half of this worm. Equally. No arguments. Pip and Squeak stared at their mother in disbelief. Half. They both repeated in unison. Yep, half. And if you can't agree on who gets which half, I'll decide for you, Mother Hen said, poking the worm with her beak. Pip and Squeak exchanged a look of total disbelief. But neither chick dared to argue further. With their mother standing there, all the squawking in the world wouldn't change the fact that they were about to lose their precious worm. After a dramatic pause, Mother Hen, with great care, placed the worm on the ground and snapped it in two. One half was slightly larger, the other a bit smaller, but both halves were unmistakably equal in their own way. Pip quickly leaned toward the larger half. "I'll take this one, Mama," she said, giving Squeak a sly look. "You can have the smaller one." Squeak, not to be outdone, huffed. "Oh no, Pip. I demand that one. I've earned it." "I was the one who saw the worm first," Pip shot back. "Well, I pulled it out of the dirt," Squeak countered. "It's my worm." Mother Hen looked from one chick to the other and sighed dramatically. "Enough of this, you two. If you can't agree, I'll decide who gets what." She placed her wing on the ground and nudged both halves slightly closer together. "I'll take the one on the left," Squeak immediately said, pointing with her beak. Pip pointed to the other half. "Then I'll take the one on the right." "Fair enough, right?" Mother Hen's eyes twinkled. "Fair enough. But remember, next time, no fighting. If you can't agree, I'll take it for myself." Both chicks glanced at each other, then back at the worm halves. With a final cluck of approval, Mother Hen walked away, satisfied that her chicks had learned their lesson. Pip and Squeak slowly began pecking at their respective halves. The worm, though smaller than they'd hoped, was delicious. They were full now, and there was no more squabbling. Pip looked over at Squeak and smiled sheepishly. "You know, Squeak, I guess sharing isn't that bad." Squeak looked up from her half, raising an eyebrow. "Yeah, I guess it's not terrible. Just don't think I'll always be this generous, all right?" Pip giggled. "Deal. But if we find another worm tomorrow, I'm getting the first bite." Squeak winked. "We'll see about that." And so the two little chicks, having learned the value of sharing, continued to peck and cluck together, their earlier squabble forgotten in the warm sunshine of the farm.